And welcome back to the IEM Katowice closed qualifier, or the qualifying match here for the East Asian region. My name's Hysterics, I'm joined by Elfish Guy, and we're moving forward into map number 2 now with Dust2 on the line and GOSU's last chance, or at least last chance in the upper bracket to find that spot in the Asian Minor.
Yeah, definitely. This is the match, or the map potentially that could put MVP through to the Asian Minor. That's what's kind of on the line here for both of these two teams. Now, for the loser of this, there is still another chance to qualify. They will go down into the lower bracket final, the consolidation final, whatever you want to call it, which is against the winner of the other match that's going on right now, which I think should probably be SC Absolute, or the former SC Absolute roster, to come through from that one. We'll have to see. For now, we're focusing on who's actually going to get that straight berth into the minor and not have to play another match. In my mind, it should be MVP.PK after seeing that result there on Train. Very, very solid stuff from them. Moving on to their own map pick of Dust2 as well. A map that we have occasionally seen GOSU playing, but definitely not one of their staple maps. No. Yeah, exactly. So I think a little bit of an uphill battle here for GOSU heading on to map 2.
Well, home turf for MVP, map number 2. We haven't seen a 2-0 cleanly. Yes, coming into our close qualifiers. Not on broadcast. Definitely missed a lot of those. And for MVP, the opening frag there onto Jinx, onto Short, will set things up nicely. They're pushing hard onto the A bomb site. And HSK, he's bought a flash, but is it going to mean too much? Looking for the peak here. Another quick headshot there from MVP.
Yeah, definitely seems as though that mechanical prowess has continued on into the round, or into the second map from MVP, as we haven't really seemed to have left much on Train. GOSU once again being run over really by MVP in this one. And the pistols not doing a whole lot of work for GOSU, trying to retake the bomb site, but it's just a 1v3 now for COK, and such a big crossfire to deal with. A player on the site, a player down in pit, on long, and the chances of being able to make this one work are slim to none, as you just can't look in two directions at one point, at one time, and MVP once again will win another pistol.
And setting MVP up for the start of Dust2 now. We wanted to see Inferno. As always, Elfish Guy and I, we love best of threes. Because all 3 maps makes you feel joyous.
I'll be honest, I don't actually want to watch MVP on Inferno. Every time I've watched him on Inferno in the last couple of months, I've been really disappointed.
Okay. So, Elfish Guy and I want to see a 2-0.
What I want to see is I want to see MVP go through this qualifier pretty much untouched. And the reason for that is because I think MVP is one of the best teams within the Asian region on their day. And they're a treat to watch when they're playing well, which is what they were playing on Train. If they can continue that, if they can go into the Asia Minor and play that well, and then have a really good performance there. I mean, I just enjoy watching MVP when they're performing well, because they are such a strong team at their day. But it does become quite frustrating to watch MVP at times when they're not performing well, when they're playing horribly, when they're not playing as a team. And it kind of just tilts me a little bit, because I know how good that they can be, and to see them then play that poorly, it puts like, why? Like, I don't understand why.
Well, it was question marks at the start of this round. There was a quick scout shot from COK, who opens up the frags once again. It was onto Solo. He gets a bit of damage onto Glow as well, who's sitting mid with a MAC-10. More damage coming through, this time from HSK, and Scout's actually working out a little better here on Dust2. The breach is there, but Stax drops down, finds a kill, not looking the right direction there. Gets hit in the back from Zyne, and this actually opens up the B bomb site. A 3 versus 2, but AK's in hand. A couple of pistols there for GOSU, and relying on that Scout.
Unfortunately, the Zeph is going to be the one to take the first contact here. I wonder if Zyne will jump out and try and trade. See what he does. Yes, he does indeed. Through the window, gets the first and the second as well. Good stuff from Zyne.
4 HP as well.
Yeah, 4 HP, 3 kills in the round. That's, I think, what Zyne had to do. He had to take that advantage that Zeph was going to be able to give him, that small advantage of being able to trade out that little window, and he took the opportunity and ran with it. If Zyne would have decided to just leave Zeph high and dry, Zeph gets a 1-for-1 there. It's still a 2v1 for Zyne to play, but where's Zyne going to play from? Probably in upper tunnels. I think in that case, GOSU actually can play the 2v1 out and win it. But Zyne definitely did the right thing there and wins the round for MVP. A little bit touch and go, but now he's going to have a bit more of a freer one, as GOSU will just run in his direction and allow him to line up a few here.
2 sitting in bedroom, still Zyne has the perfect angle if they want to breach through. Flash is there, he finds both of them, easy kills.
Great pop flash.
For Zyne, 3 kills already in this round, he'll be sitting 7-1. As we close this one out. So for MVP, a very good start. Good start to that momentum we were talking about. And for Dust2, things are looking as expected.
Yeah, absolutely. GOSU haven't been able to get anything rolling. I need to see how the AWPs do end up going for GOSU here. That'll be a real tell-all. Stax is going to get one onto solo as well. So I think that's 2 SMGs now the way of GOSU. Not too big of a deal. GOSU's going to be able to buy in the next round anyway, so you'll probably be chucking away that Mac 10. I think you would probably keep the UMP at this stage. No real reason for MVP to try and chase them down. They don't want to risk losing an AK and giving that one to GOSU for the first gun round. But overall, very nice stuff for MVP, up 3-0. And now they have to negotiate the first gun round. That's going to be the real tell-all for how the rest of the map is going to go. So Mac 10 indeed will be thrown away, but Stax is going to hang on to the UMP. All is as expected.
All is as it should be for MVP. Again,
Indeed.
7-1 for Zine. Now, still the singular AWP on Zeta. And double AWP coming through now for GOSU. So trying HSK, trying COK. And at the start, we're questioning this quite a lot. We're saying, you know, it was HSK picking up the AWP. Was he going to be the main AWP? Well, it seems to be that way. COK kind of transitioning to be the secondary. That's the first shot, opening up the round there. Peeking through mid doors, just side of the smoke, and a sneaky shot. Zeph goes down, a 4 versus 5 immediately for MVP. Could be the round that opens things up again for GOSU.
Yeah, it could, but they need to make sure that they get through this round fairly unscathed. Look at how low their money is at the moment. It's important for GOSU to build this CT economy up pretty early on in the piece. Otherwise, MVP is going to find a way to reset them inevitably. That's not to say that this round even is going to fall on the side of GOSU so easily. A couple of nice flashbangs here from MVP. We'll get them right back into the round. HSK sitting on short there with the AWP. Not much that GOSU's going to be able to worry about for the moment, but he's been pushed off. Here now with the task, and he'll spray down Zine. Minizetta under some pressure here as well. Can't land the shot. That will be his undoing as well. Much better stuff here from GOSU. Solo just wants to do damage at this point, and damage he will do.
1, 2, and doesn't come through. So, first round picked up for GOSU there, and positioning in pit there for Lakia. Turns out to be not a bad way to go.
So the 2 AWPs do go through for GOSU. Stax has got a big chunk of change, and so he'll be able to reinvest quite easily for himself. Jinx, on the other hand, doesn't have quite as much, so he'll need a drop. Money's still pretty low here for GOSU, and the buy is out for MVP, and the information is also out that there is a double AWP for them to contend with. So we'll see MVP play this round out just a little bit differently. They have a lot of utility. Wait for this Molotov to burn and then start to make some inroads into the B bomb site. Flashbang through, that's it. It's a contact play on the side. It's worked out perfectly for MVP as they get some very nice entries courtesy of Zeph.
I mean, what nice flashes, what nice entries as well. So now for GOSU, losing complete positioning over B. Relying on the retake here, bomb goes down.
I don't even think you can retake at this point as GOSU. You don't want to be running into a site 4v5. You look at what GOSU's got here to try and make the retake work. An incendiary, a smoke, a few flashbangs. It's not really enough to convincingly say, yeah, we can actually make this retake work. And the B-bomb site on Dust2 is notorious for being one of the most difficult sites to retake in Counter-Strike. So for GOSU, better option is to just try and save. They can take the AWP, the 2 rifles through. It will enable them to actually buy behind that again in the next round, so there's another gun round probably to come here for GOSU, assuming they don't lose any more guns.
A little bit of a battle going through bedroom doors.
Like, Lakia can drop a rifle here. Stax can probably buy up a UMP, a bit of utility. The utility won't be too bad, actually, for GOSU in this round, so no reason really not to buy at this point for the CT side. MVP, on the other hand, it's just a chance for them to really put GOSU in the ground. They win here, and that's going to be a full reset to GOSU's economy. MVP would then be up 5-1, turn that into a 6 or even a 7-1. Probably just the 6-1. I think it would only be the single eco for GOSU at this stage. All in all, though, MVP's off to a bit of a blinder here on Dust2.
And almost off to a bit of a blinder on round number 6. That peak was close there, and almost finding the opening frag through bedroom doors. But the peak here coming through. And MVP willing to push up short. You can see still someone hanging around into the back of mid.
Well, MVP have been showing a bit of a tendency to just make contact plays onto sites so far here on Dust2. I would like to see them use a little bit of that utility. Don't try and cross the AWP without it. Zeph getting into CT spawn, but will be spotted by COK. MVP trying to make something interesting happen here, but they might have played themselves a little bit. No smoke for the mid to B. And COK is just having a ball, shutting them all down one by one. These, again, looking more like contact plays really from MVP than anything else, and eventually they're not going to work out in your favor.
GOSU. Couple of good rounds for them then.
Well, just the one so far.
Well, be second after this, but still talking a lot about the economy. How does he hit those? I don't know.
Yeah, but any damage, any kill that Zeta gets here is incredibly impactful for MVP. Their money might not be so great next round, but if they can keep GOSU's low, doesn't really bail GOSU out of this hole at all.
Yeah. Now you see playing a lot more cautiously. But for MVP, expecting this to take off a little bit faster. And I'm bringing back to those contact plays there, Jordan. And the aggression that comes out of MVP. Maybe over-ambitious in their play, especially towards the earlier stages of Dust2. Oh, this round's going to end. And MVP, they take the AWP through to the next round. So let's look at those dollar bills.
Decent enough at the moment for GOSU, but once they actually buy into the round, it's going to get dropped quite low. So yeah, even a chance here for MVP to force into the round if they want to. Zeta's dropped the AK over for Zion. Zeph can afford one. Glow can afford one. Definitely a good buyout for MVP. Obviously not a huge amount of utility there for Zeph and Glow, but they have rifles in their hands. And at the moment, MVP, even if they just keep the GOSU economy low, they're still putting pressure on. You know, like GOSU has such a difficult task to get out of this position that they're in right now. It's very similar to what MVP faced at the start of Train. MVP was then able to win a couple of rounds on the CT side and really establish themselves. But GOSU right now haven't established themselves here on the CT side just yet. And MVP are still the ones that are dictating how the rest of this half could play out based on this next round or the next couple of rounds.
If they find themselves this round as well, maybe expect more of that confidence to come through, a bit more stability, especially towards the money side, and stability towards this roster. Smoke still going out. Long still seems to be the play. There's a double smoke there, flashing as well, but Lucky's in the same position this time. He's picked his head a little bit too far forward. Zeph opens up the frags. HSK moves back onto site. Now short seems to be the concern. The peak of the head. Jinx even can't find himself there as well. Two members actually trying to push short. Long is being evaded from there by MVP. They're changing things around.
Glow could get traded out here, but Jinx is not quite aware of the position that he's holding. Expected him to back away further, and Glow will double down. Glow getting two. Great stuff, and that really shuts the round down here for GOSU. It was on a knife's edge. If Glow were to drop, brings it back to a 4v4, but then that big individual play out from Glow, just being a little bit sneaky, hiding behind the stairs. And GOSU, another failure in a round, does result in what will probably be an eco next round, especially if Stax loses this M4, which he's going to.
And pulling GOSU around. Pulling him around like a donkey going around a well.
All right. That's an analogy I've not heard before.
All right. They know where they're going, Jordan. They know that they're, you know, churning water.
Unfortunately,
they don't know why they're doing it.
Glow's going to lose his gun because he checks the wrong angle, but still the kill goes the way of MVP. Not too impactful for Glow actually to lose the kill there, but all in all, no one has money for GOSU, except for Jinx, really. So it'll have to be an eco here. Perhaps even a double eco. Yeah, that's the way they're going to buy into this round. So they're going to invest a little bit in, but they'll have to take the eco next round, and it just put MVP in such a phenomenal position. Yeah, put yourself up to 7-2. In the first half of the second map after dominating the first map. I think I've seen this movie before, Jake.
Yeah, and it doesn't have a happy ending.
Not for GOSU. It's a fairy tale for MVP.
Well, Dust2 was their selection. You can see why. And again, the same kind of feeling on Train. Couple of rounds picked up, control back in MVP's pocket, and now towards Long on the 8th round, they're still looking powerful. There's no one really holding the A site. They know Zeta's probably still got that AWP, and of course he would. Holding mid as well. Zeph actually just sitting back, waiting for some of that information. There's a bit of a short stack.
Yeah, GOSU just trying to stack one area of the map and see if they can overwhelm with numbers.
They're going to come back to A, and it's going to be populated.
Well, maybe not quite. MVP actually haven't gotten on there yet. Solo gets tagged through the smoke there. I have to assume by the scout. A lot of damage done there, but doesn't seem to have impacted his gun at all as he's able to knock the head off of Jinx. And now the round's starting to slowly but surely favor MVP. Bomb still needs to go down, but 30 seconds. They're not under any pressure timing-wise.
Now comes the real test. If GOSU can't win this next round, well, you said it was a double eco. Was that the round before? I don't know. I've been
Double
here for a while.
eco.
Yeah.
So that last round was the eco. Well, the pistol armor kind of buy, the little small investment. This round should be another, pretty much more so a full eco than anything else. Really only some pistols bought in, no armor. But GOSU will get a good buy next round.
So the next round's the round. Right.
Trouble is though, like MVP's going to be up 7-2 by that point. So
yep.
GOSU's like literally going to have to win out the half here if they hope to post a good score.
Ooh, Jinx actually finds too. A bit of damage on Glow and Zeta as well. So, disruption.
Well, this is the difference between a good MVP and the bad MVP. In this sense, what we're seeing today is the good MVP. And around like this, I'm still quite sure, 100% sure almost, that GOSU's not going to be able to win the round. MVP, 3v2, they have the guns in their hands. They shouldn't be throwing this one away. They have a big advantage. And I think the form that MVP showed today is going to show that they probably won't throw this one away. And another day, where MVP's not really performing well, where they don't seem to care too much, I would actually be thinking, you know what, this is probably winnable for GOSU. But right now, they're just hitting their shots. As I say that, solo, this is like literally every shot. But you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Like any other day, that round could have been really dangerous for MVP. But today, they're taking this seriously. They want to win this. They want to get past GOSU, no problems at all. So they're not going to make those silly peaks that you might otherwise see them do. And another nicely executed round there from MVP. Even though it looks close, in reality, it really wasn't. 3 guns through from MVP. Now a full buyout from GOSU, and this is where they have to turn it around.
Back to that double AWP as well, HSK and COK. It's going to be up to them for MVP. For the qualification spot, they're making it look a little bit too easy here on Dust2 as well. And a rinse and repeat of train. That's what we might expect. COK going to be challenged here mid. The push out from Glow was a bit ambitious. Maybe for GOSU, handed a bit of a nice juicy platter to kick things off.
Yeah, I think the blood rushing to the head a little bit there. He didn't have anyone to really trade for him. And MVP stopped in their tracks when COK hits that shot. Now they have to default back to something. With that said, though, Solo's got some pretty nice positioning, actually. Up short right now. Could start to pressure in onto the A-bomb side as the rest of his teammates make their way through bedroom into long.
Look from Solo as well. Now, Solo's been having a pretty decent performance. I think when we talk about the players in MVP, we're still talking about Zion and maybe Zeta as well on the AWP. Can't go wrong with MVP at the moment.
Solo is one of those players that you'd be pretty happy to have in a 1v2 if you're the one. He's always good in there. Like here now, though, has to do some work, and the flash comes a little too late. HSK missing the shot and punished for it. Zion just being so sharp at the moment. Unfortunately for MVP, Solo can't get anything done, but still good entries through long. If they don't fall to Jinx, it was going to be great for MVP, but Jinx manages to line up the one. Get back into a 2v3 here. COK will get boosted. Oh no, great shot from Zeta.
Now back to a 2v2. May have the health advantage, but COK going to come into close quarters combat with this AWP. Flashes out. Moving up ramp, that hits, but Stax is already dead. There's no coordination here between the GOSU members. Pushing up onto site, hoping this AWP, but just sitting around Secrets, sitting around Ninjas, excuse me, sitting around the back of the box. Ooh. That no-scope somehow hits. So still hope. COK.
No hope, Jake. No hope at all.
I'm positive, Jordan.
Zion could die, but Zeta will be there for the trade regardless. In the end, the timer was ticking away too much anyway. He really needed to pretty much get a collateral if he was going to win that round. Unfortunately for GOSU, another one that comes close, but MVP able to just show their prowess with a few nice shots out there from Zion. Very, very solid round from him. A 3K in it, and he's always the one to make or break for MVP. In this case, he made it work. 8-2 now for MVP, another reset to the economy of GOSU. And really at this point, it's kind of just a sense of deja vu. Every single round seems to be reset city for GOSU. It's the same as what we saw on Train. MVP just absolutely steamrolling them.
They're in form, they look great. They look the best. And they're not, they look crap.
Yep.
And it's good that we're actually seeing the best form of MVP today. I think we were, what's the opposite of spoiled? We were kind of let down by the performance of Boot yesterday overall.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, it was expected, to be fair, but we have been accustomed to Boot being a bit more dominant than they were yesterday. I would say, you know, a year ago or so. But for MVP, they haven't really shown that dip in form necessarily that Boot have. Sure, their Inferno's not looking so good. Their trademarked Inferno not looking so good of late, but they've definitely made up for it in other areas with the additions of the firepower coming out for Zeta and for Zyne, and obviously a couple of the other maps starting to look really, really good for MVP of late. So I do like this MVP roster. I'm a big fan, and it's really good to see them performing well today.
Well, they're showing out 9-2. And we're going to see the buy come through now from GOSU. And this, to be frank, we said the last chance was a couple of rounds ago when that full buy came through, when we wanted to see GOSU take back control of Dust2. But now it's kind of last kind of effort to bring back the half to some kind of semblance of control.
I'd say that happened 2 or 3 rounds ago, but yeah, if they can bring it back to 9-6, then at least there's a chance for them in the second half. Though once you sort of hit 9 or 10 rounds on one half of Dust2, doesn't matter whether it's T or CT, it's going to be very problematic, and this round is very problematic indeed as well. Nice peek from Sioke, and actually no trading frag out from MVP does surprise me a little bit. Zyne going to try and make an individual play up through short.
The drop comes down just in time. Solo now ready to push into B just by himself. It's going to be a 2v1. Zyne perfect positioning there. As the push comes through from HSK, he gets caught off guard. Solo into B himself. Now, if he pulls off this 1v2, then that's pretty much going to seal the deal. The peek's there. The first one goes down. He turns around, sees another. Solo is an animal here. The last one is in B, or at least the last one he has to deal with. Peeks through the window. He should be able to find this as well. So close, just pulls the pistol out. The clock can't find it. Sioke on a bit of a mission himself, but he's left in a 1v3, and MVP Solo made that look good.
Yeah, he did. Unfortunately, not really able to finish it off against Sioke. That would have been the cherry on the cake. End of the day, it doesn't matter at all. Sioke is going to run off here with the AWP, but that's all that's going to come out of this round for GOSU. MVP will put themselves up to 10, so they'll be really, really happy with that one. And, well, things are slowly but surely starting to fall away for GOSU.
There's another opportunity for GOSU, though. This is the beauty of making the upper bracket qualification match, is that for GOSU, the story doesn't end here. I think there's a real opportunity, depending who makes their way through that lower bracket. Because we have seen some highlights of GOSU here, but it just looks like MVP more than anything. It just outclassed.
Absolutely. You can tell that MVP is feeling it at the moment. For Zyne to make that kind of a push up short onto A, he's really, really confident at the moment. He's hitting his shots. He knows that he can do that. And then Solo just decides to, hey, I'm going to go on 1v3 in the B bomb site. Almost makes it work 3v1. Gets 2 of them anyway before he goes down. So all in all of the individuals for MVP right now are having an awesome, awesome performance. And you can see some danger in Zeta's eyes there as he looks down mid, trying to find out whether or not there's going to be anyone crossing. No kills on the cross so far in this game from Zeta, but really hasn't seemed to have affected MVP at all. Look at this, Zeph very quickly up short. Again, confident plays out from MVP. This time, they're being shut down. GOSU saying, hey, you can't really underestimate us. Don't try and do anything too silly, otherwise we will shut you down.
Seen worse results, though, at the start of the round that MVP have made their way back from, so still early days for GOSU. Solo's still sitting on this shot. He's just pushing up now as well, so aggression continues. We'll sit in Ninja, wait for Glow. And Bomb looks like it's following that trajectory as well.
Yeah, they should be able to get it down pretty safely here on the A site. Plant for short would not be too bad at this point. They do have control of that area of the map. HSK looking for a head to pop up. He's playing whack-a-mole. But nothing is presenting itself just yet. This will be a nice 2-pronged attack from GOSU on the retake, but they're not coming up through short, and that is MVP. Their advantage can come from.
Bad timing there for Solo. Just peeks up now, Stacks picks a kill. 2 versus 4. There's such an opportunity for GOSU to take back control, and they may have just done it. Glow left on short to his lonesome. They know exactly where he is. He could take 1. But not 2.
No. If he would have gotten another kill there, it was going to be really problematic for GOSU because the time was starting to run out. Obviously for Stacks, a little bit easier to hit those headshots with the scoped rifle and knocking a couple of the MVP players down quite quickly indeed. Double AWP actually taken through from the round as GOSU do pick 1 up. MVP money is not a problem for them here. They'll buy the half out with the amount of cash that they've got left, but they'll be looking for 12. I think that MVP right now, they've been so dominant that 12 would really be representative of how this half has gone.
Yep.
Been fleeting moments of hope for GOSU, but nothing past that.
Even if we look at 11, that's a rinse and repeat of Train. So MVP's performances across the board. Zine just pops up once again and takes that kill for himself. Jinx is down. And HSK forced to rotate up towards short and look for this rotate through.
Yeah, the timing's working perfectly for MVP. They're always catching GOSU players off guard, really forcing them to rotate where they don't want to be as well. Lakia will actually push up onto short and get solo, which Solo evidently was not expecting. But by this stage, MVP's almost already on the B bomb side, and it's really all on the shoulders of Stax here.
Meanwhile, across the map, HSK almost dies to Zeph. Stax peeks his head forward. Zerika coming in off of window. Quick rotation, but he's forced out by the molly.
Yeah, it's actually a double molly in there from MVP, so he really doesn't want to be jumping in there. Good stuff from MVP, good utility usage, and now they have control of the B bomb side. And remember what I said, the B side, infamous for how difficult it is to retake.
And Lakia pokes his head out again. So Zeta picks that one up. COK is just going to save alongside HSK. Two AWPs into the next round, but 11-3, and we head towards that last round. There's so much potential for MVP here to just take us to 12 and, again, seal that deal.
Yeah, I mean, we're at the point where it doesn't really matter for MVP whether they get more rounds on the board or not. Like, 10 on your T side of Dust2 is more than enough to finish things pretty comprehensively in the second half. But they're going to get up to 11. Actually, reasonable chance that they can get up to 12 here because the buy behind these two rifles is going to be pretty lackluster. Lakia will be able to get an M4 and a bit of utility, but it's just going to be 3 weapons, really, plus... I guess Jinx can have an SMG here, but by and large, it's not the kind of a buy that GOSU want to be facing an 11-3 scoreline with. They really would have wanted everything in their back pocket here to try and turn it into a 4th. Not that I think it matters too much. I'm pretty much sold on the fact that MVP is going to finish this one off very comfortably indeed. Stax not helping the issue there either as he takes a bit of a tag through the door from Zeta. Everything going the way of MVP. Look at this. Again, fearless aggression.
And at least GOSU this time are matching it. There's some trade-offs in favor of GOSU to end the round, maybe. Stax is low. Solo pokes his head forward. Even odds. And this time, still looking towards short. There's 2 members on A site, 1 on B. And Lakia looking towards long. But HSK holding this angle. There's plenty of utility. Actually might be looking again to unders.
Transitioning themselves into the B side, and it's not a bad idea. Stack's the only one holding that area of the map. He's got a deagle, he's got 13 HP. If he even gets 1 here, it'll be nice.
Or not.
Well, he does get 1, so pretty impressive. Able to make the best of a worse situation, but Solo has a chance. Quickly shut down by HSK. 1v2 now for Zeph, but he does have the bomb down. Bit of utility there as well to keep the GOSU players at bay. So still a tough ask here for GOSU to retake this site.
Up on the ground as well, not choosing to take it. We'll see how this goes. Well, why not? You know, make it flavoursome. Molly out to the back of the car. This is a peek through the window. Zeph has found the drop, and that was almost too easy for him.
Got to find those 1v1s. And now he just has to wait for Lakia to touch the bomb. So tough here for Lakia. Has to sit it now, and Zeph's just going to spam away. It's down to luck, really.
Oh, he's a little bit to the side. Might actually come through. The defuse does find its mark. Zeph, did he forget where the bomb was planted? No, he guessed.
I mean, he just had to spam away. It's a 50-50 thing at that point. If he would have spammed a little bit to the right, it was going to be a kill for him. He knew where the bomb was, but in the end, it's just luck at that point. So a 4th round for the guys on GOSU. I don't know that it matters too much, really. That round is not a big deal at all, I don't think, for MVP.
Still MVP's game to win at this point, or to lose, I think is the phrase. In Australia, we don't really talk about phrases much. We have barbecues and avoid drop pairs. MVP, this is their title essentially. One of the best teams in Korea, or the best team in Korea. This is how you cement it.
I mean, I think it's already cemented, but this is how you continue that that reign of...
Because this is the qualification match into the minor. And MVP are making it look like the gap between them and GOSU is so large.
And I mean, this is not just the difference between them and GOSU, as in the difference between the best and the second best team in Korea. This is the difference between the best, or one of the best teams in Asia, and a middle of the pack team in Asia. This is how much of a difference it is between teams like MVP or Vici or Tai Lu and the rest of the Asian teams. You can just see the dominance that MVP has.
We were talking before about MVP in the past, giving Tai Lu a bit of a run for their money to a degree. Now, whether that's the same case now after coming off the back of...
It's hard because we don't get to see it too often. I do think that MVP on their day could challenge Tai Lu, and we have seen that in the past. Obviously, Tai Lu is definitely the better team. There's no questions about that. But I do think that MVP could give them a bit of a run, depending on some circumstances, what maps they get on and that sort of thing. But maybe that's something that we do get to see, later on down the track. I would love to see an MVP and a Tai Lu match. We just don't get it enough.
Whew. Well, this pistol round's won and further cements MVP, and they have just hit every shot that's come towards them.
Yeah, I mean, on the topic of MVP and Tai Lu, the thing is, like, even though Tai Lu comes from the same region as MVP and that they're both from Asia, we don't see Tai Lu playing within the Asian region all that much anymore. They're predominantly playing international tournaments. They're playing IEMs, DreamHacks. They've made it for the major again. So, it just doesn't happen as often as it used to. A lot of the time we used to see MVP and Tai Lu be the two teams that were playing off for the one qualification slot when it came to Asian qualifiers. And by and large it was Tai Lu, the team that were able to win. But nowadays we don't even get to see that contest, which is a little disappointing.
A little bit. With MVP playing smooth Counter-Strike like this, I mean, you look forward to a matchup that could happen.
It's a forced buyout from GOSU, and it's just been absolutely swamped by MVP.
Well, they'll take us to 13. And MVP ever so close to moving towards that minor. And towards the qualifier. Eventually hoping to get their way to the major, but I mean 2019, that's a big ask, even for a team like MVP. But you never know.
I think there's a pretty reasonable chance actually that MVP will make it through the Asian minor as well. When we look at the quality of teams there, I guess Renegades would definitely be above them in terms of like where you would sort of rank them. But I'm trying to think, like, would I put Vici, like, assuming Vici were the one to go through from the Chinese qualifier, which is really up in the air. Like, the Chinese region itself is very contested. So I guess I would actually put MVP maybe second at the Asian minor, at least from who I would expect to be at the Asian minor. We still have yet to see which of the Australian teams is going to make it, which of the Chinese teams, etc., etc. But I do think MVP is a pretty good shout.
I mean, if we start talking about the Australian teams, it's going to get very biased very fast. So, now for GOSU, this is going to be their. Well, I mean, they're going to buy now. It's 2 ecos in a row. So here's hoping GOSU can put up a bit of a fight. Otherwise, MVP.
Yeah, well,
they're going to make them pay.
It'll be an even more dominant performance on Dust2 than it was on Train.
Oh, yeah.
Train was a 16-5, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
So this is potential for a 16-4.
And it was only because one round at MVP just kind of threw everything at them and just walked out. So for MVP right now, trying to seal the deal. That's a good molly. Stack still walking through it. The aggression there was expected by Glow. He was even flashed there. I'm not sure how he hits it. He even gets luckier with the molly. Okay,
so this is what I'm talking about, the difference between MVP and GOSU. You should never, ever, as Glow, with an SMG there, be able to get 2 kills when GOSU are running, even though they're running through a Molotov. And he then gets flashed. I don't know how he's able to get 2, but it goes from bad to worse for GOSU, unfortunately. Great shot from Zeta as well. This is over.
He's just looking down suicide at the moment. GOSU are just sitting there. And it's been a great run for GOSU. Mind you, their performance through and to get to this point has been great. They'll go to the lower bracket after this and have another opportunity against who they're versing at this point. We're not too sure.
We're not sure. Assuming it'll be Absolute, but it could definitely go either way between Absolute and Storm Rider.
And then there's a question there, because against Absolute, they even put up a good GOSU verse them before to send them towards that lower bracket. We start talking about, the closeness of it. They 16-2'd them on Nuke. So big expectations for GOSU to fill that other qualifying spot. 2 from East Asia, but this is match point here, and GOSU, they bought everything last round, so they're going to have minimum utility. Minimal. And MVP looking to put the nail in this coffin, an even better performance than Train at the moment. You have to say that as Korea's representative, boy oh boy, they represent well. Solo opens up the round with that frag.
Literally running down mid, managing to find a kill. I don't know what could be more of an example of how this game has gone. Zion is going to push aggressively. Splash. Ooh, look here, almost walks into the spray, to be honest. But MVP, you can see they're just playing a little bit looser in this round. They want to get it over and done with. It might actually be their undoing and might prolong this game a little more. Depends which way the next frag is going to go. MVP still relatively nicely set up for what GOSU were trying to do. But Glow doesn't spot out Jinx.
Jinx.
Doesn't matter. Jinx can't land the shots.
They're peeking mid. He can't land it either. And MVP seal the deal. They secure their qualification spot. They head over to the Asian Minor, and boy, Jordan, what style to get them there.
Yeah, absolutely. A phenomenal performance today from MVP. That's exactly what I wanted to see, so I'm very, very happy that MVP have been able to perform that well in a match like that.
Shellacking.
Yeah,
is the
exactly.
word we'll use.
It was a shellacking indeed, and that gives you a pretty good amount of hope heading into the Asian Minor. So all the best to MVP. I really hope they perform well. They're one of my favorite teams to watch coming out from the Asian region, and that's exactly why, because when they're on, they have great performances, and it's really just enjoyable to see.
Then we have to pose the question to GOSU and what they can achieve in the lower bracket, because you were questioning that, okay, it might be Absolute, or you're telling me that it might be Absolute who probably make their way through.
Absolute is up 1-0 right now.
Right.
So we'll have to see how that second map does go.
That's what we expect then.
But I would say I think that Absolute is the better team in that lower bracket at the moment. I think GOSU, well, they've already got the one win over Absolute in the upper bracket earlier on in this bracket stage. If it is going to be GOSU and Absolute, still a bit up in the air for me. I think that one could go either way.
Well, that's the match we're going to have to wait for. We will be waiting for that bracket, having a bit of a longer break, but when we return, GOSU will be taking on the winner of that final match.